This is Suresh Batchu from Digital Trust. Today I'm going to talk about how to convert existing identities into digital addresses in GADI ecosystem. It's a very simple process. I'm going to walk you through an example to show how easy to convert the existing identities into digital addresses. Today, if you look at it, there are about 90 online accounts per person on average. And this study was done in 2017. And I wouldn't be surprised if it is more than 100 already, because more and more people are doing more businesses online. If you look at what are these different types of accounts used by the user, for example, work-related accounts, where they will be using accounts to log into their clouds, the enterprise systems, whether it's a cloud or on-prem. Government related services, whether it's a taxes or driver's license or any other benefits that a government provides. Education, your universities, colleges, courses that you can do online. Healthcare, where it is medical labs, your doctor office, all these different healthcare related services. And then e-commerce, where you do all your businesses online. And then social media, like Twitter, Facebook, all these different social media services. So a user is using all these different services on a regular basis. If you look at which services have been verified that it belongs to a particular person before they give the account. For example, like when you go to work, they'll check a lot of things before they give a work account. Similarly, government, anything that you want to get account in government, you need to get verified. Similarly in healthcare as well, and also in education. The ones that doesn't get verified are e-commerce sites and social media. Those accounts, you open an account, but the user is not verified. So all the ones that the user gets verified, those accounts can be easily converted into digital addresses in the GADI ecosystem, and I will show you how to do that. So before we go there, what documents are usually used to establish the identity in these entities? It could be a driver's license, it could be a passport, a birth certificate, or utility bills like telephone, electricity, water, these different types of utility bills that you can use to actually establish your identity. Right? Let's take an example of an enterprise. In an enterprise, before they give you or onboard you into the enterprise systems, they check whether the user has a proper driver's license or a passport. One of those two documents will be used to actually verify who they say they are, and then get this user onto the system. In the GADI ecosystem, there are actually three different players, identity actors, that actually comprises this whole ecosystem. The users who own the identity, issuers who actually issues the identity or issues the credentials, and the verifiers who wants to verify those identity of users or credentials of those users. And DApp plays a very significant role in this GADI ecosystem. DApp is digital address provider, and DApp is the one that brings these users, issuers, and verifiers together and connect them in a nice way. Looking at the architecture here, what you're seeing is multiple dApps that are connected to GADI in the GADI ecosystem. Each dApp will have issuers connected to it, service providers, and also the users. Issuers are the ones that issue either the identity or the credentials, and service providers are the ones that want to verify the identity of the user or credentials of the user. And users are the ones that actually claim their credentials or their identity in this ecosystem. So let's take a look at an enterprise use case, how an enterprise can take their users and convert that into digital addresses, and that users can actually claim. All the enterprise identity is kept in either a HR system, human resource system, or identity provider like Microsoft AD or Okta. That information is stored in this HR system, and IDP is good enough to take and create the trust anchor. Trust anchor is the one that is needed to actually uniquely generated hash for the user, and that trust anchor is the one will be used to seed and create the digital address. It is easy to create those trust anchors with the information that is available in the HR system plus identity systems. Using that, you create the hash. How it is done is a issuer agent of a DApp will be residing closer to the enterprise and connect to those systems and bring the data into the issuer agent using the connector and create the hashes of those users and create the digital addresses if there is no digital address has been created for a particular hash, a trust anchor. Those digital addresses are the ones that will be pushed to the DApp, and users will be able to kind of claim their digital addresses by connecting to the DApp and proving who they say they are. For example, Tom can actually wants to claim his digital address. He will actually scan the QR code, which will have the digital address. He will actually take that and then go through the onboarding process where the user has to provide some proof that belongs to them, like either driver's license or passport, where they have the information, and that information will be collected from those documents and be presented to DApp, and that's how they prove their identity. When once the identity is proven, they can actually claim their digital address. And this is how the issuers can issue the digital address and users can claim their digital address. When once that is done, the users are onboarded into DApp. And now if any service provider wants to verify a user, the user will give them the digital address, and the service provider can actually go to DApp and they can actually verify the user by doing the biometric authentication, or the user, the service provider can verify the credentials of the user by going to the issuer of that particular credential. If there is a consent that needs to be given by user before issuing the credential back to the service provider, the issuer will actually ask the user for consent, and with their permission, they will release the credential to the service provider. So this is the GADI ecosystem. And as you can see here, the issuer has all the relevant data to create the trust anchors. And all we need to do is this issuer agent connecting to those relevant systems, pulling the right data and creating a digital address for those users and make it available for the users to claim. This process is very simple, and we've done this and with integrating with the enterprise systems, and we'll show you a demo how this can be done in a very easy manner. So in summary, a lot of existing verified accounts can be used to issue digital addresses that users can use globally and own their own identity. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jason Burnett. I'm the Director of Products for Digital Trust, and I'll be walking you through this demo today. We started with a basic customer database for an issuer like a DMV in order to show how easy it is to add creating a digital address to an existing workflow. Clicking the Create Digital Address button takes existing user data and uses it to create the digital address. The user can use their app to import the digital address, which kicks off an eKYC process on their phone in order to ensure that the user of the device is the actual subject of the digital address. After that verification, access to the digital address is locked using FIDO. After the digital address has been linked to the user's device, credential presentations can be issued to it using the same issuer's database. The user will approve any incoming credential presentation and again lock it using FIDO. If another issuer tries to create a digital address for a user who has one, GADI prevents that type of identity collision. In that case, the issuer would be prompted to instead link the user's digital address to the account. That linking can be accomplished by QR or even by entering the mnemonic form of the user's digital address. Afterward, the newly linked issuer would be able to continue to link a variety of credential presentations to the digital address. As before, a new credential presentation must be approved by the digital address holder to be accepted or shared and is protected by FIDO. Instead of using a mobile phone, the digital address can be pushed to a FIDO-protected smart card. Then, a verifier can read the card in order to link the user's digital address to an account. Reading and writing functions of the card are protected by FIDO. Once a user has a digital address, they're able to use it to facilitate a variety of zero-knowledge proof use cases, as well as share certain verifiable attributes based on their credential presentations. For example, in the case of booking travel, attributes like first name, last name, etc. can be verified before input without relying on user data stored in a service account. A health status, like a negative COVID test result, might be used to request special travel accommodations or even used for a return-to-work use case. Again, this is just a very brief overview of the variety of use cases which can be supported by GADI and a digital address. Thank you for your attention.